Wrestling fans, Crown Jewel is officially over, and we need to discuss match by match what happened. Break it down. It was not a snooze fest like WrestlePalooza was, so at least there's some bright things to talk about. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We drop wrestling content all the time for you, so let's get right into what happened at Crown Jewel, and let's have a conversation together. The first match was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. I don't know how it's different than a regular street fight, but it happened in Australia, so that's very special. It was what it was. It was a brawl fest between Roman and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed looked strong as usual. But then we get into the bloodline rules aspect of it, where everyone and their mother starts coming out, and Braun Breaker comes out. He does a lot of damage to Roman. This entails the Usos to come out, and they start getting involved. And because of all the interference, it looks like Bronson Reed drops Roman Reigns by the table. Jey Uso spears him into the table, and he gets taken out by Braun Breaker. This leads to the tsunami and Roman Reigns taking the pin. So let's break down this ending, because Bronson Reed, he should have won, which he did win, but he should have won a little bit more dominantly than he did, because realistically, he won because Braun Breaker was there, and he won because Jey Uso screwed up and speared Roman by mistake. He didn't come off as dominantly as I wanted him to, and I think that he can beat Roman Reigns, and Roman would be fine. Roman's not going to lose any steam, and you had the Australian street fight to cover up the loss. You didn't really need any interference. The vision needs to look strong. And the way that this is happening, it doesn't make him look strong. It just makes him look like, we got each other's back. Braun's here, like we got each other's back. And I mean, back in like the Attitude Era, even, you had so many superstars, The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. But people could take losses. It doesn't hurt them if the story is good enough. Have Bronson Reed just destroy Roman in a street fight and pin him. It's not that hard. I don't know what you're afraid of, Triple H. It's not that hard. Either way, it looks like the reason this went down is because they're telling more of a story with Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. I guess the payoff is they're not allowed at Thanksgiving. They just can't show up. They are not allowed there until Christmas. So I don't know how you do this, because the Jey Uso story they're telling is to become Little Roman and how he would fight that off and be Jey Uso. But how can you do that now with Roman leaving? It kind of feels like we're going back to let the Usos be cool with each other, maybe. And either way, we will see where it goes. I would like to see the Usos go after the tag team championships and feud with Braun and Braun, but looks like we're heading to WarGames. My early prediction would be LA Knight, CM Punk, the Usos, and maybe Roman comes back. They talk Roman to coming back. The problem is there's 5 people, and on the heel side, I can only count Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, maybe Brock Lesnar, but I don't know who that 5th person would be. So maybe 4-on-4, maybe Roman don't come back. Either way, I digress. The match was good. I mean, it was not bad by any means, but Bronson Reed, in my opinion, should have been a little bit more dominant. You didn't need all the extra interference, but I understand that they have another story they want to tell with Roman and the Usos, and it is what it is, but it was still a pretty good match. Next, we have Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vakir for the Crown Jewel Championship. This was not given a lot of time, but it was very good. And the right person went over, Stephanie Vakir. Tiffany Stratton loses nothing in defeat, which this is a good example of what I was talking about in the previous match. It is okay to have stars lose matches. It is okay. It's fine. Tiffany didn't lose anything, and it was a good match, and there wasn't an abundance of finishers that they were kicking out of. It was a very good, clean match. And because it was shorter like that, if you had more matches like that, you can get more matches on the card and make it feel important. Damian Priest and Aleister Black, like I said in the predictions, should have been on this card. You should have squeezed it in somewhere. But this is a good match for what it was. It's not the best match of the year, but it definitely did its job. Tiffany lost. She doesn't lose anything. Stephanie Vakir wins. She gains a little something. It is a win-win for everyone. So this match, because of all that would be the match of the night for me, but it's not for sure. But I'm just saying, as far as like building the match and all that, that's how it should be. So yeah, it was awesome. Stephanie Vakir wins. They actually had a belt this time. So she got a ring and she got to wear the belt. So Saudi Arabia lent them the belt. But yeah, it's now we got to see where Stephanie goes from here. Maybe she's in the women's WarGames match. Maybe they got a feud lined up for her, but realistically, they don't have to rush. If she's in the WarGames match, she don't have to be in a feud until December. So all is good there. Everything is good with this. Everything is good with this match and how it happened and where everyone is coming out of it. So next we have, my God, the match of the year, in my opinion. And I know that we can go off, well, what's your favorite match? What is the best match? This could be the best match of the year. I really think it could be, because John Cena versus AJ Styles completely tore the house down. It was one of the best, as many people online have said. You can't describe it any better. It was a love letter to wrestling fans that we're going to pay homage to everyone that helped pave the way for us to be here to put this show on for you. And it was amazing. We saw, Michael Cole said vintage John Cena, but we saw John Cena hit the draping DDT, thanks to Randy Orton for making that as popular as it is. We also saw an RKO, which in Chicago, when I went to the SmackDown, he had the match with Sami Zayn. He teased the RKO. I wanted to see the RKO, but he didn't hit it. He hit it this time. So a lot of homage to Randy Orton there. We saw a choke slam and a tombstone pile driver, ode to The Undertaker, from John Cena, from the match that should have been great and it never was at WrestleMania between the two. We saw Walls of Jericho. We saw a skull-crushing finale, ode to The Miz. We saw an accolade for Rusev, and the crowd chanted Rusev Day, which was pretty cool. We saw a reverse scorpion death drop from AJ Styles, and that forearm into the turnbuckle he hit. I would kind of say that was a stinger splash right before the reverse DDT, but you know what? It's my world. I'm living in it. I want to say that was a stinger splash. We saw a Sweet Chin Music. We saw a Coquina Clutch. We saw the last one I'll bring up, the very nice Sister Abigail. Very nice homage to Bray Wyatt. We saw the Fireflies. John Cena gets just so emotional during that moment. What a beautiful moment with the Sister Abigail, and he actually kisses AJ Styles before he hits it. That was just picture perfect. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of, again, I'm not a fan of people kicking out of finishers all the time. For me, that should be saved for the big four shows: Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Why is it that every time a superstar has to get in a ring with someone, they got to kick out of like 9 finishers? It's just, it's out of control. I mean, I've brought it up before, but it's just crazy. But in this match, it just fit perfect. I will give it the exception in this match, because this wasn't a, them fighting for something. They were fighting for us, and they were giving us a show. So it is acceptable here. And John Cena proved, man, if he would just, I know he's acting, but he's proving he could still go in the ring for a while if he wanted to, another year if he wanted to, which I have a theory about that I'll bring up at the end of this match review. But it was awesome. AJ Styles coming out in the TNA trunks, the whole introduction he made for AJ Styles, just awesome, dude. The whole story from the entrances to the hug at the end, match of the year, in my opinion. That's saying a lot, because there's a lot of good matches this year. My theory that I was going to throw in here not has anything to do with the review, but what if John Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event, he wins, he goes out on top? This is wishful thinking. Hear me out. The Rock's music hits, and he says, "You're done when I say you're done, because you signed your soul over to me. You're having one more Mania match." And then he has a really good Mania match. That is wishful thinking. Maybe it could be, but I digress. Either way, if you haven't seen John Cena and AJ Styles, stop watching this video. Go watch that one. That is the only time I'll give you permission to stop watching me and go watch that match, because that match was phenomenal. And because it was so phenomenal, Australia didn't really give a shit about Rhea Ripley, because they popped for her entrance, But they were so dead for that match. And I mean, just spent 30 minutes with John Cena and AJ Styles. It's not that these women did a bad job. The match was very good. But they were just so burnt out that they pop for the big spots. But yeah, it is what it is. But Rhea Ripley and Io Sky beat the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. The Kabuki Warriors do nothing to get their heat back. I predicted they should win to build the fire to this feud. What are we doing? Why did Rio, right? Rhea Sky, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Rio. Why did they win this match? They didn't have to. There was no. The only story here is that Kairi Sane saved Asuka, and that's what went for. It don't make sense. It doesn't make sense for them to win here, even though you're in your home country. Don't give Rhea the win. Rhea doesn't need the win. As long as she's there to show her appearance and people get to cheer for her, she don't have to win the match. This is my problem with the way they book things sometimes is it doesn't make sense. Where do you go from here? Because now Asuka and Kairi Sane have to get their heat back somehow if they want to extend the feud. Or else you just blew your wad in one night, and that's the end of that. And that kind of sucks. I think that the Kabuki Warriors should have won here. The match was good. Rhea Ripley looked like a monster because she's, 8 feet bigger than everyone else in the match. But she was awesome, and nothing against the match. It was good. I just think the outcome should have been different. I think we should have got Rhea Sky. I keep saying Rhea Sky. I think we should have got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky winning here. But I don't book the shows. I just review them. Next, we have Cody Rhodes versus Seth frickin' Rollins. And it was a good match. It was very good. I liked it. It's one of those matches, though, that it's at least story-wise, at least emotion-wise, it doesn't hit like their other 3 matches for me, but it's good for what it was. The story here being that can Seth actually beat Cody? And we find out that he can't without a little help, which came from the watch that he used. So can he take that as a win and say, I did cheat, but I won by myself? If he's happy with that, then that's true heelish, characteristics, and I can't hate him for that. But I would like to see someone say you couldn't even beat Cody without using the watch. And, we truly don't know if he can beat Cody on his own. And by the way, I digress here. We hit an avalanche crossroads off the top rope. Why in the hell is Seth Rollins kicking out of that? If you're going to pull this crazy move out, why didn't we use that at SummerSlam to take Cena, have him take the loss to Cody? Why are we using it in this match for the opponent to kick out of and come back and beat you, even though you used a watch? But it doesn't make sense why you do that. Like, we haven't seen that move since AEW, and we see it here, and it doesn't even get the job done. And there was a crossroads before that, I believe. So I don't know what we're doing there. Either way, I'm glad Cody didn't win the Crown Jewel championship this year. It was a very good match. I love watching these two work together. Nothing negative to say. Just not my cup of tea as far as how it ended. And it's not for me. It's not for me. I don't like you hitting avalanche code or crossroads and all this stuff, and it can't get the job done. It just made Cody look kind of weak to me because he's hitting these crazy moves and he still loses. Like, don't pull out one more time for the people in the back. Don't use an avalanche crossroads unless you're going to win the match. That's for the people, literally the people in the back, the people scripting these matches. Don't use that move if he's not going to win the match. But yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. Obviously, we're going to men's WarGames. There's a lot of different people that can be in this WarGames match. I don't know if Cody's in that match. If Roman can't be there, I don't know if you take one of those people out. I just don't know what's going to happen at WarGames. There's just too many people in play for the faces, not enough people in play for the heels. So we'll see. Maybe Cody has a one-on-one match at WarGames. Maybe they revisit Drew McIntyre, although he's busy with Jacob Fatu, and I have no idea. We'll get there when we get there. But overall, I gave WrestlePalooza a very bad grade. I'm going to give this one a B. I think it was a very good show. They showed improvements. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked the video, drop it in the comments. If you didn't like it, drop it in the comments, because I would like to start making videos with your comments and we can start having real conversations on here and get to know each other a little bit more in depth. But anyway, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you like this video, and we will see you on the next one.